Okay, so I'm not talking because I was trying to share the video and type the description stuff. That's the answer. Um, but so now that that's done, it's the logistics. It's how I'm learning how to use this thing through Zoom. When I'm on Zoom, it's a little bit different than me being on StreamYard. So I'm still trying to learn how to adapt and do that thing all together because my StreamYard is like filled. There's no more space for recording, and I do not know how to download the content. That's the reality. That's it. So, hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday to you guys. I hope that your Friday is off to a bright and productive start. Hopefully, you guys have planned to do some great things for this weekend, and those plans are in the process of beginning. It's 3:48 p.m. here on the East Coast. Today's I mean, I was like, I'm telling you, like, I be having let me tell y'all, I am not a great typer. Cat's out of the bag now. I'm not. I don't know how to type without looking at the keyboard. I need to look at the keyboard sometimes. Sometimes, like, miraculously, the letters just find their way to my hand and I'm good. But other times, it's just a rough one. So, today's question of the day actually came from Kale, believe it or not. And I thought it was super interesting. And I want to know what your thoughts are. So, the question of the day today is a question I feel like is going to allow me to get to know you guys a little bit better, also. Um, but it's in life, where you are right now, and what you've learned right now, with what you've learned and what you know about the way you move, about life in general. What would you prefer out of these three options? If you had a choice, if it were all up to you at this point in your life, would you elect to be loved, desired, or admired? Loved, desired, or admired? That is the question that he came up with for the day. And I think it is an interesting one because I do think it does tell us kind of where people are in their lives. It tells us what people are creating their goals around in their lives. Um, and it tells us our potential to be hyper focused around making sure that the life we live is in congruence with the expectations of society, family, or self, etc. Okay, Urban says admired. Hmm, that's interesting. Let me follow that up by asking you the question. Do you think you're a people person? Like, do you think you are a communicator? Do you think you're a person who is like super into building relationships with people, showing up for people and that sort of thing? Do you think you're a people pleaser? Or do you find yourself to be a different type of person? Because I have some assumptions about those who would prefer to be admired. Personally, when I think about it, I think to be loved means that we also are we're very open to receiving people wherever they are. Because the thing about that is to be loved means you invite people in and you allow them to get close enough to you to develop the perspective that aligns with affect, heavy affect for you. And that also means that sometimes those people are going to show up and you're not necessarily going to be calling for them or sending for them, but they're going to show up just because they feel like that's their job, that's what they're supposed to do. And that's the way that they can show you what they feel, the affect that they feel for you. So you would essentially have to be a people person for that to happen, right? Um, Personally in life, I'm a person that would rather be admired, maybe from a distance, and just respected. That's enough for me. Because I don't want to have to be constantly engaged with people, especially in person, okay, on a regular basis, because in-person encounters have so much risk associated with them, especially if you're in a heavily populated place right now. It's so much random violence going on right now. It's just the unpredictability is sometimes just too much for me, you know. And as a person with some severe traumatic exposures from um war times and things like that, right? I value peace probably more than anything at this point in my life. At this phase of my life, I value peace and predictability to some extent. I want to stay away from chaos or at least be able to anticipate it properly, plan for it properly, and protect myself. So that's kind of what it is for me. The desire component means that you move with an intention to reel other people in so that they want you, that they're attached, or there is something about you that they want, or you know, they want to attach themselves to, but that also equally involves you and people being close, you know, and you being receptive to perceiving them. It's just not me. Um, you said for me, to be admired is an opportunity to impact people's lives, rather if it's positive or negative solely depends on the individual. I agree. I agree. And I feel like I can have an impact at a distance. Guys, that's where I am. That's where I am. I'm not like super anxious around people, but I do recognize that at this point in my life, I do see the realities. And recognizing what those realities in society currently are and the impact of so many negative events on the human psyche, you know, especially mine being a provider in the realm of mental, emotional, behavioral health and things like that. So I see a lot and I sit with a lot and I process a lot on a day to day, moment to moment to moment. So I think for me, that hyper exposure sometimes just makes the persona of me, the individual of me, just want some me time. When at the end of my day, I just want to unwind and just enjoy nature. I love nature and I love art. Um, and I also love me a glass of wine. And I think that, you know, art in the form of music or plants or canvases, etc., it kind of gives me space to process just me with me and my perspectives with me. Just there, that is. I don't know if I don't know if I am really considered to be an introvert. Most would say I'm the life of the party and an extrovert. I feel like there is a lot of flexibility there. But my preference, however, is to just sit with self, be with self, and enjoy what self has to offer versus jumping in and making everybody else a part of the thing. Okay. Says, based on my explanation, can being admired lead into desire and love? It can. It can. It can. It could lead to it, but it it doesn't dictate one's movement. So the thing about moving in a way that desires admiration or respect, even, it says that, you know, you would hope that someone has an appreciation for you, for the legacy in which you leave on every connection that you happen to have in this world. But just in hoping that that impression is left and somebody may have a deep appreciation or a little bit of appreciation for that, it doesn't mean that you will find yourself in a position to then feel the need to please people just to be loved and desired by them. I think that they're, in general, as human beings, we we have all of it at some point in our lives, but our perception of which one we'd rather dictates how our personality or our personification of self kind of unveils itself to the rest of the world and those people that are connected to us. Um, the things that we choose to do with our time, energy, etc. Okay, happy that you could agree. So I do want to continue to hear your answers. I want you guys to share that with me. Again, this is Kel's suggestion. He wants to know kind of where the world is with this and what your perspectives are. And I, for one, am very curious about it at this point because I do feel like society has shifted in such a way that with the influencer type of, I guess, lifestyle kind of taking the lead now, a lot of people have shifted. And I'm interested in seeing exactly how it is that you guys see things have shifted and what your perspectives currently are. And if you are aware of where you used to be, I'd love to see a comparison, side by side comparison. I'm not giving you guys a therapy assignment or nothing, but hey, self work is the best work and the most fulfilling work that we could do for ourselves and others in the grand scheme of things. There you have it. That's all I've got. I hope that you guys have a blessed, a productive start to your weekend, and hopefully everything that you guys have intended to get done in a day is unfolding wonderfully. I wish you guys love, light, and positivity, positive vibes your way, and that's all I've got. So take care. Later days. Bye.